Today we're going to do some butterfly. So I'm going to show you a few different versions of butterfly. If you have stuff at home that might resemble a strap, so a belt or a scarf, something like that, or a yoga strap, and blocks or something similar, a big fat book perhaps, and or a bolster or a big pillow, blankets folded, etc. These are really nice options for modifying butterfly. So butterfly in Yin Yoga is this divine pose. You're gonna sit somewhere on the mat in the middle preferably, because maybe you're gonna lie back. So you'll bring the soles of the feet together. This is one of these poses that targets, I believe, 8 different meridians. So it's one of the best poses. If you're going to do any yin pose, start with this one or just do this one. It's divine. So the soles of the feet come together. You want to make a 90-degree angle with the knees, so your legs are basically in a diamond or square configuration. And then the difference between this and the Yang version, which maybe you're familiar with, which is called Baddha Konasana, is that in the Yang version, we're bringing the legs in really close, and maybe as close as you can. But for this Yin version, you want the space. This is a way to really target these meridians that run up and down the inside and outsides of the legs. So we're working with liver and gallbladder, spleen and stomach, kidney and urinary bladder. And then those are the main meridians in the legs. And then we're working with urinary bladder along the back body, and depending on how you get into the pose, maybe more meridians. So what we're going to do is, the first option I'm going to show you is with a block. So you could take a block or something similar, place it underneath the feet, and this will already intensify the experience. And so you could just be here. If it feels too hard for the feet, then place something soft on top of the block, or use a pillow or stack blankets, etc. instead. If you have sensitive knees and you don't want to open the knees up so far, then place 2 big pillows or 2 blankets under the thighs, or maybe up to the knee. So this is an option as well. Anytime you're in Baddha Konasana or butterfly pose, you could sit straight up. You could also come forward. And anytime you're in the pose for a longer period of time and you feel like it's too much strain on the neck, then you want to support the pose. And so an example of how this would look could be something like stacking a block and a cushion, depending on your level of flexibility. You may be here. So it doesn't have to be uncomfortable. You can make it really cozy and really comfortable so that you can settle in. Because the idea here is that we want to spend a few minutes. You want to spend 2 or 3 minutes to start and work up to longer. So 3 to 5 minutes is ideal, and you could sit up for up to 20 minutes in this pose. So I'm going to walk through a couple more options, choosing which one works for you. If you're not using the block under the feet, what you could do would be to use a strap and make it really big. Okay, so we're making a huge loop. And then you'll take the loop around your waist. And then once again, we're checking how the feet are and the space between the legs. And when you wrap the strap around the feet, the tops of the feet, you can then begin to check in to see where actually could I come to that is still comfortable, is still doable without overdoing it. So I want to check in with myself. Hey, how am I feeling here? I think I could go a little further. Okay, I'm going to go a little further, but to encourage that stretch, I'm going to shorten the length of the strap. So I'm going to help bring myself lower and encourage the possibility of staying there by shortening the length of the strap. So you want to have the strap or the scarf or the belt in a way that you could still work with it, that you can still shorten the distance. And so in this case, for me, I can come quite low, and so I may just keep shortening the strap, and maybe the strap rides up from the waist up into under the arms. Anywhere is fine. And here, maybe I'll shorten it a little bit more, but you find that spot that works for you. If you come close to the feet, but you feel like you still need some support, maybe use your hands. You could always stack fists. You could always place the hands on top of each other. You could always bring the arms around and rest your hands there. Maybe a block or a cushion here is a nice option. In this case, the block would be on my mouth, and I don't want that. So I'm going to take the cushion option and place my head so that my forehead can rest on the cushion, and the arms can do anything here. Maybe they just rest with the palms facing up. Maybe you bring the palms together in prayer pose. This is absolutely okay. Just do what feels right. Some people like to get really into the pose in different ways with the arms. You could always reach the arms up over the head for a bit, stretch out the shoulders. You could reach the arms under the legs if that's for you, just exploring your own experience here in butterfly. So not to linger and stay in this version of our butterfly. I'm going to come out, and anytime you come out, you want to do it slowly, just as slowly as you got into the pose. So I'm going to release the strap, take it off my feet, slowly come up. And the other option here would be to lie back, and I will show one really nice variation of fish pose. So I'm bringing in a second pose into this brief introduction to butterfly. So check this out. You could always, in butterfly, lie back and just keep the legs as they are. I'm adjusting to make space, but you could lie all the way back. Make sure the soles of the feet are together, and then relax here. And this is the same position, and you're doing a lot of really good work here, but it's a bit easier. So if it's been a long day, or if you're just not up for the forward fold right now, then take the lying back version. You could also bring the arms up over your head, just to open up through the upper body, open up the arms. So this is a wonderful way to explore your butterfly in a more relaxing way. And then I'm going to show one last version, which is basically fish pose, the yin version with the addition of butterfly legs. So fish pose you may be familiar with from hatha, from other forms of yoga. And what we'll be doing, fish pose is usually a little bit of a back bend. It is a back bend, and you're normally pointing the toes. We're not doing that here. So this is not what we're doing completely. We're just coming into butterfly, lying back on a cushion, or maybe a block with a pillow on top, or maybe a couple blankets. And if you have only a blanket available, then wrap and roll the blanket up, and so it's long and skinny, and it's under the spine. You don't want it to be too wide, because you lose the advantage of, when you lie back, being able to drop the shoulders down. So when you set it up, you want to be able to bring that cushion or whatever you're using up almost to the top of the shoulders, or maybe all the way to the top of the shoulders. So you may have to adjust a few times before you find that perfect spot. And then release the head down towards the floor. And maybe it's too far to drop the head down. If you feel like, I don't like being upside down, I don't feel good in my head, or if you have a headache, this probably is not ideal, then you could always place a block or a blanket or a pillow under the head. So I'm going to do that just as I am describing it, and so that I also have the option to speak a little bit more clearly here. So if your head drops all the way down, it could be wonderful for you, your choice. And then the last part would be the arms. Your arms here can just come out to the sides and find your way. Maybe they come down along the side of your body. Maybe they come out to the side. Maybe they come up above the head. And wherever your shoulders feel comfortable, then explore that opening with the arms. So I've showed very many, I would say technically maybe 4 different variations of our butterfly pose. So wherever you're at and whatever you decide to do, I encourage you to stay in the pose for maybe just a few minutes if you are new to the pose. And if it feels really good to you and if you've done it before and you're happy to stay longer, then stay longer. You could stay 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Like I've said before, 20 minutes is amazing, but after 20 minutes, you're not going to receive those benefits that you would receive for the first 20 minutes. So it does have a limit, but you may find after such a long time, and if you're in this pose for 1 minute and you're saying, no way, could I ever do it for longer, then just ignore this piece. But if you're ever like, oh my God, I can't get enough, then at 20 minutes, maybe that is enough. Or just be where you're at and explore and enjoy and just make sure you take your time to come out. So I'm going to explain to come out of the pose. So if you're in the fish pose variation, first thing is to not strain the neck. Take your hands, clasp them, and rather probably clasp them underneath the neck, so not before you reach under the neck. Now we're going to help the head up. Lift the head, tuck the chin so that there's no strain coming up. And then as you come up, maybe you reach forward and pull yourself up, or maybe you press into the floor. And to come out of the butterfly legs, you want to use your hands to guide the knees to come back together and bring the soles of the feet to the floor. Stretch out a little bit, walk them forward. Make sure you have a comfortable seat and just drape your arms and your head over the legs. This is a wonderful way to rebound, to come out of the pose and to once again find equilibrium in your body. One other option here would be to counter the effects of the butterfly on the body, where you're feeling like, whoa, the hips are way open and it's a lot for the back, etc. Another option here would be just to come up into a reverse tabletop. So the feet walk themselves in, you press through the hands, fingertips pointed forwards, and then lift the hips, maybe drop the head back if your head is okay with that and your neck is okay. Otherwise, tuck the chin, keep lifting the hips, breathing here for a few breaths. So take as long as you need to rebound, to come out of the pose, to really find that neutral place in the body again. So that summarizes what you can do in butterfly. There are lots of variations, and these are a few, and I hope you can try them, and please let me know how it goes and anything else that you're interested to learn about. Thank you so much for joining. Namaste.